to another episode of the Minnesota Rack Stars podcast. I'm your host, Joe Collin. Today we are bringing you our annual Minnesota Rack Stars shed hunt, and what a weekend we had here in Minnesota to get out and do a little shed hunting. It ended up getting to be about 73 degrees, somewhere around there. It was beautiful out. A lot of us were out there in t-shirts and getting after it and having a good time. The only downfall is we did find a few deer ticks already and wood ticks, so just keep that in mind if you're out and about right now looking for sheds, that they're already moving. So make sure you're checking yourself for ticks here after you're out and about. But yeah, we had a blast. We were out there, and this podcast is kind of going to start out us kind of at the shed, and we're discussing everything that's about to happen and all the anticipation that goes along with going out shed hunting. A few of us sit down, talk about sheds we might have found already, and kind of our, I don't know, thoughts going into the day, and then we'll transition into the second part of the podcast where we discuss everything that we found or maybe didn't find yet. So yeah, it's always fun going out there and doing this shed hunt. Steve and Travis allowing us to go out there with those guys and find them and all the kids that get to come with, and we have a big potluck meal that we have. It's just an absolute blast, and it's one of those things where even if you don't find any sheds, it's just fun getting together and being out in the outdoors again. You just can't beat it. So that's what this podcast is about, bringing you guys a good time, a bunch of hunters getting together and family and introducing new youngsters into the world of shed hunting. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We're excited to bring this podcast to you guys. We really hope you enjoy it, and let's get to it. Hey, if you're like us, you're getting ready for that upcoming hunting season. The one thing we always want to make sure of is that we have the best apparel possible to keep us out in the woods longer. And we've been paired up with Arctic Shield ever since the beginning. And what they want to do for you guys, the listeners, is give you a discount code to get you 20% off of everything on their website, which is arcticshieldоutdoor.com. And if you use the code RACK20, that's RACK20, you'll be able to get 20% off everything on their website. So take advantage of this offer right now. Well, if you're looking for a gift or just something for yourself, Minnesota Rack Stars related, I'll tell you what, you need to check out our clothing store that we have. The link is on our social media platforms and on our website, where you can go to it and order some sweet Minnesota Rack Stars swag and accessories. I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, when things are winding down, I'm going to put on a movie or watch some sports on TV. The first thing I do is I get into my Minnesota Rack Stars sweatpants and sweatshirt because it is so comfortable. And that's the thing, like, if you got a shirt or pants or whatever that are comfortable, you know what I'm talking about. And this fits it to a T. And I am not joking around. This stuff is so comfortable, and that's why we're going to continue to keep this store open online, because it's a great product, everything that they put out. And why don't you guys check it out, and I guarantee you, you'll like what you have on. So with that, we're going to get to the podcast here. Thanks for listening. I just grabbed one from your fridge. You might as well go grab one quick, and we'll get her started here. All right, we're going to get things rocking and rolling here. I don't know how many years we've been doing this with the big get-together, but I want to say it's about our 6th year. We've kind of rounded up everybody to kick things off here. I told Travis yesterday that this is kind of an end and a beginning, because it's wrapping up 2025 and starting 2026. And we were just talking, how many sheds do you think we're going to find out there that we didn't place out there for the children to find? And my guess is 3. That's my guess right now. I don't know. Give or take. What do you think, Ruckert?
Optimistic. I'm going for 1. But it is damn nice out there, so I'm happy to be out there.
Holy Lord. These last 2 days, we've been having a really long winter this year, and we're going to do the shed hunt last weekend, and we got hit with a snowstorm. Some spots in Minnesota got like 2 feet, and we didn't get hit as bad, but it was cold, and it was blowing everywhere. So we had to postpone it till today, and today is supposed to be like 73 degrees, so that's pretty sweet. The kids are going to be able to go out there and just wear their boots and jeans and a sweatshirt and call her good. So we picked a pretty darn good day for this. But first of all, I mentioned this in the last podcast. I'm already on the board. Actually, my daughter's already on the board. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is the shed that my daughter found. Pretty good, half of a 9-pointer. It was pretty sweet. Had it throughout the year, hitting the vine scrape that I had. Came back there multiple times, but it's pretty cool. It's the biggest shed that I found on my property so far, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to find more. We're actually going to go out and look tomorrow for the other half, and if there's other sheds out there. But Travis, why don't you kind of give us the update on actually, Pete, why don't you start? Because you found a few already too, didn't you?
Yeah, I found one matching set and then half of a 6-pointer. That was the first matching set I've ever found on my property.
Why don't you tell us the story of that? Because I think it's pretty cool.
So we were going to. I always feed all winter up at my land, and we were going to check the feeder, and I had brought one of my workers with, and we put feed in the feeder, and we're walking. Just walked in the woods like 30 yards, and he's like, "So how do you find sheds?" And I was like, "You just look up in here, like don't look right at the trail, look off to the side." I'm like that one right there. And he's like, "Shut up." And I'm like, "No, find it." And he's like, "I can't find it." And he's looking. And then all of a sudden I look down, and there's the other side. Like, I'm like, "How about this one, too?" And he's like, "No way." I'm like, "It's not that easy, dude." I'm like, "That's a good teach." I probably wouldn't even have found him if I wasn't going, you got to look up over here. I would have probably walked right by him, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you sit there walking, and it's like, I'm never going to find anything. And then all of a sudden, just boom, right there, and it's like shocking to you right away. It's like, whoa, right there's one. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Rucker, did you find anything yet?
No, haven't even been out.
Liar. You've been out every weekend out there running around.
I can't ever find them, I only like the big ones anyway.
Yeah, don't we all? Travis, I know you you do some surveying throughout the winter and the early spring here just to kind of keep tabs on things. We know you've found a few already that are exposed, I guess you could say. But the word is you weren't actively searching for sheds this year. You were just kind of keeping eyes on the perimeter.
Yeah, minus one shed we did go look for.
I was just
I wonder which one was that.
I was just going to say Ben just sold them out to me. He said, "We found the one we were looking for," he said.
He's walked every inch so far.
No, besides that day, I haven't walked anything. We had hay bales out all year, and we found quite a few that dropped right on the hay. So it's either pick them up or drive them over. So
Right.
Drive them over and wait for us.
So those ones got
selfish.
Those ones got thrown back out for the kids to find. But there's not a lot of big ones this year. We got one, and there's one that I'm hoping we find that's not on where we're going to be looking. So we're going to try to find him a little later. But there's a lot of 2-year-old 8-point, a lot of baskets, I'd say, I don't know how many we're going to find. We'll be pushing 20 today, I bet.
Nice.
Actually, Josh had a couple little, he said he's got some little prizes he threw out, and saw a couple of the ones that I didn't know about today already. So there's going to be more than I'm expecting.
Crack of dawn, there he is out there just running
How
around.
he is. He's so innocent all the time.
Oh, shoot.
There was I hunted here the very last day of season, and there was I think I've seen 7, 8 different bucks standing on the hayfield. So they were definitely holding there.
Yeah, my cameras are acting up this year. There was so much. I'm not sure why I had solar panels on, but there was so much deer on those hay bales all year. I don't know if they got overworked or what, but I was not getting a lot of good bucks on camera, so I'm hoping to get surprised today.
I think we will.
You talked about having cameras set up on hay bales and food sources like that where they're congregated into one spot. You think those cameras do get overloaded sometimes because, I mean, it's whatever you have your delay on, it's boom, right away because they're around there so much, especially in the winter time. Travis, you mentioned that there's someone that had some deer that he found that were dead.
Yeah.
Thinking starvation.
Yeah, they're right in his yard. He had 2 were right in his yard. One was out in the field, but they're fawns that were starved. So we actually brought a couple of hay bales over there. Then the rest of the winter, he had probably 20 deer eating on the hay all day long, and they looked a lot better after that. They were definitely starved. We had that kind of a heavy snow early, then it got hard, and they just couldn't get in the hay fields at all. And out here, between him and Ben and our place, we fed 12 full round bales this year, and they cleaned them up.
You know,
they were hungry.
That's crazy.
You talk about you get that snow right away, and if it's just a fluffy snow and whatever, that's fine. They can dig through that. But once it melts and then it freezes, they can't get down to that ground and find acorns. And in my situation, I had beans in one of my fields this year, and they were hitting it until the snow, and then they were digging in the snow a little bit, and then it just shut off. They were not in there at all. And then once it melted here this last week, I was going to school and I counted like 20 deer in my field. There's bean pods in there, yet they just couldn't get to them.
They're going to where it's easy for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, I bought an extra control feeder because otherwise I have too many deer up there because I feed corn and hay. And I think I went through almost 300 bushels of corn, and that was on a timer. Yeah. And I actually bumped it up because I think they're cleaning it up so fast that I bumped my timer speed up so they could get more. Because it was I'm not going to be surprised to find 20, 30 dead up there. I bet.
Sure.
For sure. I would say that other year, was it probably 5 years ago when we had that bad winter?
Yep.
When we were looking for sheds, we found 20 to 30 dead ones.
Jeepers.
Yeah, was it 3 or 4 years ago? We found like over 30.
Yeah.
That was when we couldn't feed them in the winter time because we had the ban. So now we could finally feed them again, and that's really going to help the herd a lot.
For sure.
And that's what I don't. I mean, I don't know that rule was put in place that we can feed for whatever reasons out there. But to be honest with you, talking to people and hearing what's going on, I think there's going to be a lot more benefit to us being able to feed deer versus a negative, consequence to spreading diseases or whatever you want to say. Because you look at right over here, the deer were tipping over before you started feeding them. I'm glad we're able to feed now. And the thing is, you got to do it right, and I think that's the biggest thing. You can't just all of a sudden feed them and then just take it away from them, and then all of a sudden it shocks them and they're done. And then another thing too, on top of that, you got to feed them, some greens and then also the grains on top of it. It can't just be grain the whole time as well.
Treat them like livestock, basically. I mean, you're kind of their life support at that time of the year. For that, it's only like 2 months is when they really need it. After that, we haven't given nothing for over a month now. The snow kind of got softened up and melted, and they've been fine ever since. But they need a boost every once in a while.
And it's all area dependent too. That people talk about utilize natural resources around you with browse and all that stuff. Well, what if you don't have that stuff? You don't have any of that stuff. Right. What do they have? They have nothing. So that supplemental feeding there will help them get through the season. It'll be interesting. You look at in my mind, I think the bucks made a huge jump this year in growth. And that's a correlation between, I think, in my mind, we had some pretty good winters, but also on top of that, we're able to feed here a little bit too. And if you can keep them full of good nutrients throughout the winter months, that's just going to propel them into the growing season, and in return have bigger deer. Yeah. But I don't know. It's nice we're able to do that. So, all right. So Travis, what's the strategy today? Are we going to get into groups again? You tell me what's going to happen today, and I'll follow along.
We don't have a super huge crowd, and there's quite a few women outside with the kids. So, I'm sure a few of them guys want to go out east probably.
Yep.
So with the crowd we got, I almost think going one big group to one side, walk that pretty good, then drive over the other side, kind of stick as a group instead of all spacing out. And
sure.
I think there's plenty to walk that I think might be the best route.
It'll be interesting to see who stays with that group and who ventures off and just starts going into different creek bottoms.
I'm already looking at you. Where's Rucker? I don't know.
Winners win, baby. Winners win.
Haven't seen him in 2 hours.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, there's our pregame here. We got a big potluck meal we're going to have later.
Tell them about your picture. We're looking for sheds that haven't even fallen yet.
Oh, yeah. So it is, what is the day today? March 21st. And it actually wasn't my picture. My uncle sent me this last night. So on March 20th, he sends me a picture last night, and he said that we're probably going to have to cancel the shed hunt today because we still have bucks carrying antlers. He had a picture last night.
That's
with a nice buck still carrying. I said, well, you get extra points if you can chase him down and rip him off his head.
Don't tempt me.
My father-in-law has land in Randall. He's got 4 still holding both sides.
Yeah.
That was March 9th.
That's crazy.
Which I thought that was insane because mine were already dropping. I found that matching set January 9th.
So there was one year, I think it was 2005 or 2006. I was up in college. And I came back for Easter break, and we were out walking around shed hunting, and I saw these deer off in the distance. It was my brother Mark and I. I don't think you were with. I think it was just Mark and I. Anyways, we see these deer off in the distance, and I kind of get down, like I said, Mark, get down like we're deer, in the parallel to the ground. I said, just get down here a little bit and let's see what happens. And all of a sudden, those deer were out there, and there was a bunch of them, and all of a sudden, I don't know if they got curious or what, all of a sudden they started coming towards us. It was weird because there was like 20 of them. They started coming towards us, and all of a sudden I look, I'm like, holy Lord. I bet this deer was pushing upper 130s, 140, 8-pointer that still was holding that Easter weekend. So I've seen deer carrying this late.
But it's surprising with this winter.
Right,
And the rut, I feel like the rut was pretty good by me anyways, which puts a lot of stress on them.
That's another thing I want to talk to people about and get people's input on the rut this last year. So to me and other people that I've talked to, it just seemed like the rut was a lot earlier this year. Like more intense action was taking place earlier this year versus later. I don't know. Is that what you kind of saw, or was you kind of the same, or what's your guys' thoughts?
I thought it was kind of early, too. It seemed like it was almost done at November. Even when I went to North Dakota this year, I watched, it was November 3rd. I watched 3 bucks, all about 140, lay down next to each other, and about 30 does walk right past them. They didn't even look at them. It's crazy. And typically, that's
game time out there.
That's a full-on massacre.
Yeah. That was the same thing with me when we were out in South Dakota. I think it was around the 20th of November, and usually it's just cranked up like crazy out there. I saw one shooter. I sat 2 full days, and I saw one shooter. I'm like, usually things are cranked up, but then I go back and look at my trail cameras. It was that first week of November where things were just cranked up, and that first week of November up here anyways just seems like things are starting, early that first week of November, just kind of starting. But out there and around here, things were really cranked up that last weekend of October, first week of November, it seemed like.
Right.
What was that like? Wisconsin, too? Was that out there?
Wisconsin's always – I have a hard time with Wisconsin because, we have our lease piece is probably 40 minutes from the other piece, that 107 that we hunt, and the rut will be going at 1. And the other one is completely dead.
Really?
And I have a lot of friends out there now from all over the years, and they'll text me, get down here and bow hunt. They're running everywhere. Like Bry, he has 400 acres, and he had bucks just like, dude, they're just one after another on camera. Like, he's sending me pictures, and I go down there in 3 days, don't see a single buck moving, and I'm like, no, okay, I'm gonna go off of my time frame because I kind of put it in my computer when they really pick when they start opening up scrapes. That's been within 3 days down there on that one lease. It is exactly within like a 3 to 5 day window that they are always on their feet. So it's like
you must have that doe that comes in
honestly,
estrus right around that time.
Like October, right around the October 20th, which everybody says is a lull or thinks. Down there, that property, that's probably my best week to hunt it.
That's crazy.
Over the last 4 years that I've kept track on dates from trail cam picks. But it's really hit or miss down there. Like, I think it depends on the valley. Because of all the valleys, I think it's all about which does are going hot and it's pushing. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's the thing with hunting. That's why I like talking hunting, because there's no one strategy that fits for everybody.
No,
it just doesn't work that way.
Wisconsin seems a lot more different to me for the rut because it just seems like it's more sporadic versus up here. Like, if they're running by Travis's, it seems like they're running up in Hillman. It's a lot closer, anyways.
Yep. No doubt. All right. Any particular strategy that you're going to use today, Travis? What's your strategy going into today?
Bush lights.
That's where I'm going.
I might be seeing 2 antlers at once here in a couple hours.
Oh man! All right, let's cut it here, and we'll join you guys here in a little bit after we get back from our shed hunt.
Yeah, geez. Somebody put the mule deer sheds up there.
Yeah. All right, Travis, can you hear me over there?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, we're going back here, second part of the podcast here. I don't know if I'm going to air the kids' portion of it, but I'll tell you what, those kids had a blast, and that is what this shed hunt has transitioned to throughout the years. Travis, you were a part of it back in the day when we were out there and just kind of doing our own thing out there shed hunting. And, Josh, you kind of came along and then all of a sudden it just kind of exploded. Everybody kind of being a part of it, and it's one of those things where now, I mean, like Travis, you have your big deer that you're kind of going after, and it's one of those things where you want to go out there and find those sheds, and I give you 100% credit for wanting to go out there and find those big guys, because if it was me on my property, I'd want to find my big guys too.
Yeah.
But it is awesome for you guys to allow us and the kids to come out there with you guys and find those sheds, because I just sat down here with every one of those kids, and they're just so excited that they get to come out here. And I asked them, what was the favorite part about shed hunting? They said, finding the sheds. And now, Josh, you're a hit because the golden sheds were out there. I'm not sure how big of a hit the mule deer sheds were, but
they were fun for me. They were fun for me for a little bit.
So we've done this before. I'll kind of go back and tell the story, Travis, of when we first started kind of hiding sheds on each other. So it was, I don't remember what year it was, but anyways, I was out here shed hunting. It was before we got everybody together to do the shed hunt, and I went out and I was shed hunting before you guys were done with chores, I think. I just went out, started walking around, and all of a sudden I stumbled upon this magnum shed. And I'm like, I'd be willing to bet that other half is right around this corner. And I go around the corner, and sure enough, there this other side is. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I called up Steve and Travis, and I said, you guys need to get out here right now because I just found a magnum set. And they came out there with a full cooler, and multiple people came out, and we just celebrated finding this shed, right? These match set sheds. And I think we celebrated for about a week's worth. Well, come to find out later on that they were a penned-in deer that you guys had out there for me to find, and I ended up finding the darn things, right? So
it wasn't blackberry?
I thought no, it was a different one.
Oh,
so
I thought it was. I always thought it was blackberry.
No, as a buddy down the road has they got rid of them, but they had pen deer.
So yeah, so they
closer.
there you go. So they threw those out there, and they let me chew on that for about a week, and I was just stoked that I found these antlers, right? Well, they ended up finally telling me that it was an April Fool's joke, so I was kind of frustrated. So the following April Fool's, I'm like, okay, I got this figured out. So there was an individual that I knew his passcode to get into his truck, which would be Steve, and I figured, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into his truck in the middle of the night, and I am going to roll his window down, and I am going to put a rock inside of his truck, and I'm going to go to the local, salvage yard and scoop up a bunch of glass from a vehicle that has rolled over or something and spread it out on the floor in his truck, thinking that somebody threw a rock through his window and busted his window, right? So the night I was going to do this, I called up one of my buddies who worked at the salvage yard, and I said, hey, do you think it'd be okay if I'd go in there and get some glass and clean it up and bring it? And I told him the whole story that what I was going to do for an April Fool's prank, and he said, yeah, go for it.
So he's probably like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
So at the time, I'm driving Travis's truck, okay? And I pull into the salvage yard with another buddy of mine, and we go in there. We can't find, all the vehicles are there, but there's no broken glass. So okay, failed attempt. So I leave, whatever, go back over to Travis's, whatever, and I go home, and it's about 11 o'clock at night, and Travis messages me, and he says, you better do something about this. And here he screenshotted a post on Facebook from that salvage yard saying that we had people trespassing on our property. If you know this vehicle, please report to the Morrison County Sheriff's Department. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Well, here the neighbors saw us pull in there, and they've kind of kept a close eye on the salvage yard because people,
small town, right?
Yeah, right. So they saw his vehicle pull in there and pull out. So then they called the owner and then told the owner, hey, there's people messing around in there. So then he looked at his surveillance camera and saw us walking around in these vehicles. So I call up the owner of the salvage yard, like, hey, total misunderstanding. I talked to one of your employees. He said it'd be fine to go do this. This is what I was trying to do. I was trying to play an April Fool's prank. Yeah, we didn't do anything. And he goes, I knew it wasn't something to be worried about, but
just in case.
Yeah, just in case, right? So that backfired on me again. So I got nailed 2 years in a row on an April Fool's prank, but Oh, man. So this year, Josh, you had a different idea on your
did.
end.
Yeah. You want me to go into
Yeah,
it?
let's hear it. I'm sure Rucker wants to hear it again.
So I had two ideas, right? The one was the golden shed. Me and my son got into 3D printing, or my son's into it, and so we've been 3D printing antlers and things like that of hunting-esque. And so we 3D printed some whitetail antlers and spray painted them gold, and it was kind of like the golden egg Easter egg hunt type of thing, right? So me and Travis went out early and we put a couple out, and what we thought was pretty obvious spots, obviously gold, a lot of sunlight in tan grass.
Oh my
Turns
gosh.
out they blend in pretty well. So we kind of had to help direct some of the kids to where they were. But the other side was I said, hey, I've got a big match set of 3-point mule deer antlers. They basically look like a jumbo 6, right? And I said, how funny would it be to go throw them out? And we were kind of trying to tailor it for a few people. Because if you didn't know better, it looks like a big whitetail set. If you really didn't know better, but being an experienced mule deer guy, you would know. And so me and Travis drove out there, and we threw them out in the far end of one of your hay fields, and you could damn near see them from our trucks if you were looking. They look pretty big out there.
No spotting scope
I mean, they
needed.
got 11-inch G2, so they stand up pretty tall. Well, it turns out we didn't really direct the right people in that area that we thought it'd be extra funny for. And there was a couple individuals that got really excited, needless to say. And my good heart and starting to feel a little bit guilty there, so I had to break it a little. We didn't let him go a week. I gave him about 25 minutes or so, and I had to break it to him because I knew it was going to crush him later if I kept letting him feed him.
Don't worry, I got a lot of YouTube footage or GoPro footage of those guys being pretty excited about that deer.
And boy, was it hard for me to walk up when they were talking about it and keep a straight face. I was giving it everything I had. The only good part was you guys had a buck out there that they knew was wide and tall.
Yeah.
That was all they knew of late season. It was wide and tall. And so they were like, this has got to be him, a great big giant 6-pointer.
What got me was someone made a comment, boy, it almost looks like a mule deer, but boy, it's got to be a whitetail.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep it in.
Yeah. Well, I told you guys, I was like, I got a great big deadhead, from out west. Big 4-point mule deer, like a real good one. And I was like, it would be funny to put that one out there because, over the years, obviously there's a few deer around and you see skeletons and stuff. And I was like, boy, if we knew where there was some old skeletons and you threw it by it,
right?
Nobody would know any different. Right?
No.
And so I thought that would have been a pretty good one, but it may be a little too obvious for somebody in
Some
the know.
people.
And it's one of those things too. Like I didn't want none of the kids to find it because you don't want to totally break their hearts.
Right.
And so we were trying to kind of get the certain people looking in this certain area. And we had one of the right people.
Yeah.
And he bought into it big time.
Big time.
He bought into it big time, and he left early today. I don't know if it's because of that.
I don't know why he's gone already.
Or what was going on, but he had to leave a little bit early.
I think he brought with a box of Kleenexes too, but I'm not sure.
But he was all bought into it, and he's a mule deer guy. And you could tell he was like questioning it, but he's like, it's gotta be. And then the one person I thought was going to be all over it right away, mule deer.
Yep.
Mark.
Yep.
He's like,
he just chucked them.
He knew it. He's like, you can't.
He chucked them.
Yeah. Wasn't about it. But yeah, so it was good while it lasted. We obviously could have made it last a little bit longer, but
that was good.
But it was fun.
Yeah. The day was amazing. Obviously, just absolutely fabulous. Going out there, find things. I want to thank Domain Outdoor, the Fish Guide, Skullcraft, Arctic Shield. They hooked us up with a ton of cool prizes for everybody. We're going to kind of go through and hand some of these prizes out. I know the kids who found the golden ticket. I think what we'll do is they'll get to pick first. I think what we'll do is they get the first pick out of here. And
there's a couple of youth things up there.
Yeah. I think.
But I would say if we wait longer, more people will leave, and then that means more for me.
Yeah, right. Travis, just from a overall view of this year, as far as sheds go, what's your ranking here on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you rank this year from shed hunting?
I'd say a 7 or an 8. We found a pretty decent amount, but the one big buck, which is nice, but that was kind of it for mature deer.
I would say it was I felt like we found quite a few today.
Yeah, we found. I don't even
just
know
not a lot of nice ones.
Right. I don't know what the final total was, but There were a couple surprises. That one is that fork up there, that moose.
I'm not sure if that one
That
is
one's
up
actually
here or
probably the
not.
most impressive.
That
shed.
is.
I mean, I would say it while it's you weren't recording, or
I don't know what happened there. It just shut off for a little bit, but we're back on.
Okay. I would
No, we're
say-
good. So I'm just going to go back and repeat what I just said. So it is very difficult doing what we do on this day to find sheds. And to find as many as we did was pretty impressive because when you're out there with a bunch of kids, your wives trying to help them understand what to look for, all that stuff, it's hard to find. My wife and I were walking on a trail, on a trail, a 2-track trail, and we're going, and my wife is asking me, questions about this and that, and all of a sudden, the gal that was behind me had a child on her back and a child on her arm, and all of a sudden she goes, "Did you guys just walk by this and not see this, or what?" And I turn around, look, I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" And here was this fork that we're holding up right now on our YouTube channel. I mean, the mass on this thing is ridiculous.
A lot of potential.
He's
there.
a year and a half old, and the mass around it'd be his G1 or his G2 here in his main beam is just ridiculous. But I didn't see it. But the other thing, so you factor in all those distractions along with that, with the sun shining.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to see those antlers.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a benefit to going out on a cloudy day. But I will take this sunny day any day going out here shed
I mean, this is probably the best day we've had in years.
Long time. And on top of that, we actually saw a buck still carrying today on March 21st. I did mention yesterday one of my uncles had a trail camera picture, not the same uncle, whatever. Had a picture of a buck yesterday, and we saw a buck today still carrying. So, there's bucks that'll carry a long time, and there's bucks that'll drop in December. You just never know. But pretty cool wrap up for the 2025 season, transitioning here into the 2026. We're going to get together another day, one of these nights, and I want you guys to kind of individually wrap up your 2025 season, because you have some good stories to tell, Travis, about a deer that you were chasing that's well known around this area now. And Josh, you have some really good stories as well. But I want to keep this kind of shed hunting specific, and we'll kind of go from there. But I think we're going to kind of transition into handing out some prizes here. I would say, just looking at the table, Travis, I think you were pretty close to about 20 sheds that we found today. But it was a lot of fun. Thanks to Travis and Steve and everybody that kind of made this day work, and Josh helping out, and Federal threw some apparel in here for us as well. So that's pretty cool. And everyone else here that is listening and following and subscribing to us, we appreciate you guys. You guys got anything else to add for today, or anything that you want to touch up with before we go here and cut them loose?
I mean, not much. I mean, more than anything now, it's just the family and the kids, and getting everybody together is like, that's what gets me excited, right? Like, Travis, I know you spotted one, and girls, there's something in this area, right? And all the little girls are running, and they're sneaking around, and they end up picking up a match set that you had no idea was out there. And it was, incredible to me. Like, I love seeing the kids doing it, and it obviously helps when it's your own kid, and you're like, all right, little chip off the old block, right? But all of our kids were a part of some shed or some interaction today.
Yes,
which is that's real important to me, and I just love the family and the camaraderie behind the whole kind of the shed hunt here. If we would have found 5 or 50. It's just fun for everybody to get together.
And that's why, for myself on this day, I usually don't find too many, because I'm not really looking hard for them. I'm not, to be honest with you. I'm just going. When I start looking hard for them is when I'm by myself, doing my own thing, and I can really lock in. Or if it's just us going out there, I don't have to worry about you, where you're going. We know our way around this area. Where we have other people that were with us today, we're like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm like, you're not going to get lost. Like,
the only problem about going by yourself is typically, like, for me, like, and I fall subject to this a lot.
Yep.
I'm looking for big tines up or a big hump.
Yep.
When you're doing that, you miss a lot of the little ones.
You do.
And I feel like today, like, with the kids, I'm slowing down, because, like, if I would walk past a spike or a fork, like, I'm a no shot left behind kind of guy.
Yep.
But say I walked by one, it's not going to burn me if I find it the year next and it's chewed up or, whatever. Like, I always want to find the big ones I'm chasing. And so this is fun, because you get a little step back, and it's like, I'm trying to find every single one because I want to help a kid or somebody find one.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, there are many days throughout the year that my kids will reference this day. Like they'll talk about going out shed hunting and stuff, and that's the key. I mean, we could sit here and be greedy and want to find them all ourselves and just keep going out by ourselves and doing this, but we're only going to be here for so long, and it's about passing this tradition of not only shed hunting but hunting in general in the outdoors and just family. That's what it's about. It's about 100%. Passing it down. Life isn't about us. It's about passing it down to the next generation. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of smiles on these kids' faces, Travis, today, and you and Steve could easily say, no, let's pass this up this year, and we're going to find them ourselves.
A couple years off, so next time we go out, it's just they're everywhere.
Right?
They might be chewed up, but there's going to be more.
I'll tell you what, when we really first started hitting it, Travis, I think we found about, 50, 60 sheds that first year when we really started hitting it. We were finding sheds from previous years and years before that. It was pretty insane when we first really started getting after it.
It was eye-opening. It's kind of that's right before we even started filming and stuff. We weren't really, I wouldn't say hardcore hunter. We hunted a lot, but we didn't know what we were doing, so just seeing the amount of bucks that were actually out there. We didn't have cell cameras or nothing yet, just like, holy crap, there are a lot more bucks out here than the guy thinks.
Yeah.
Then you realize.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend. And you know what? Even if you don't find any sheds or don't have a good spot to go, there's plenty of public out there. Get a few of your buddies together, greet your kids, whatever. Go out and enjoy the outdoors, especially when you get a nice day like we had today. I think it was about 73 degrees. Get out there and just enjoy it. And you know what? Even like I said, even if you don't find anything, you can't beat being together with family and having a good time. So that's my advice. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following along. I wish there was a couple other people here that wanted to share this experience with us, this exciting experience with us today, but they left a little early.
They're out there, No prizes for them.
No, sorry. The food plots are coming with us. So, all right, you guys, thanks for listening. A lot of fun bringing this one to you. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Well, thanks for listening this week, you guys. I know we had a lot of fun going out there shed hunting, getting together, and just having a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the podcast. Like I said earlier in the podcast, make sure you guys are checking yourself for ticks already because they're out and about. It takes one good warm day to get things going, and you don't want to be catching a deer tick on you. I've had a couple in the past, and I know what the doctors have told me in the past is that if you catch a deer tick within 24 hours, under that 24-hour mark, they're not too concerned about it. You get on an antibiotic and you take that and everything should be good. But you just never know. Those things are so tiny. I mean, I checked myself over pretty good the 2 times that I ended up having a deer tick on me and still ended up having it the next day. Is sod. Like, you got to be kidding me. But just make sure you're checking yourself after you're done out in the woods. Kind of frustrated because I did a little interview with a bunch of the kids for this podcast, and I was editing it, and all of a sudden I was going to cut it and paste it in a different spot, and all of a sudden it was gone. It was missing. So I apologize to the kids out there that sat on the podcast with me. I bet it was a good half hour. We were sitting there chit-chatting. It was pretty wild because they were eating on the set and yelling into the microphone. It was chaos, straight chaos. So maybe it was a good thing, but it was kind of heartbreaking for me to lose that little portion. But it is what it is. We'll make it work another time with those guys. But I hope you guys are having a good time out there. Hopefully you guys have found some sheds, a little anticipation, excitement leading into this next year when you can find a decent shed of a buck that you might be able to go after. So, it's always fun doing that. And like I said, even if you don't find any sheds, just getting together with a bunch of friends, going out, and enjoying the outdoors, you can't beat that. So with that, we're going to close things down here. Once again, thanks you guys for listening and supporting the podcast and our YouTube channel and all that good stuff. It really does mean a lot to us, and also the people that continue to work with us right from the top all the way to the bottom here just kind of what we do each week. We kind of mention our partners because we appreciate those guys for everything. And in the podcast, if you listen, there was a bunch of prizes that Arctic Shield and Domain Outdoor and Skullcraft, the Fish Guide, those guys were able to throw some prizes in for everybody to make things even more enjoyable. So, like I said, Arctic Shield, Domain Outdoor, J&R Outdoor, Skullcraft, Fish Guide, Tacticam, and Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, you guys got to go over on the Fish Guide's social media platform. He posted posted a pretty good video of a gentleman that he took out guiding this last summer, and put it this way, it was the biggest fish he has ever caught, and it's pretty insane. I think the video is going viral already. It's pretty hilarious, comical, and it sums up outdoors in I don't know, more than one way, I guess, but it's just awesome to watch that guy express his excitement for catching that fish and just having a blast. So make sure you go over there and check that out. You guys make sure you have a great week, and we're going to try to get you guys another podcast next week.